morning, trading world. It is a little abnormal for me because we are after the open during trade. It is January 19th, 2023, excuse me, 10:47 a.m. And this is my pre-market outlook and technical analysis. And I guess I could say not so much pre-market. I had a couple, had some visitors this morning that didn't allow me to get the outlook out on time this morning, but we're going to dive into a live look at what's going on. My plan was to go back and revisit the 30,000 foot view on the SPY, and the title for this morning's pre-market outlook was Troubling Undercurrents Hit the Forefront of the Market Concerns. Now, we went through the 30,000 foot view where I demonstrated the risk pretty much at this level here, and I explained that these levels here, these red horizontal lines, are the main channels of major support and resistance. Excuse me. And I give you these levels every day. I always focus on what major channel we are in, and the major channel that we are in goes from 397 being the top of that channel down to 379 being the lower end of that channel. Now, yesterday we went over the risk reward. Above here was basically risk to versus reward coming back down into this channel, in which it played out like we thought, and I collected a handsome reward, and still some to collect today. However, we are closing in on a very dangerous area. Even though I believe we should find support on the major channel, or before we get to that major channel lower edge of 379, we must acknowledge and plan for the breakout below. This break is something that I think will ultimately happen. I just think the true break where we continue falling afterwards happens somewhere in February to March time range. I don't see the VIX, and let me take a look again, but I don't really see the VIX waking up and inverting right now, sounding that alarm that trouble is right here, right now. So what is more important to me right now is what today tells me about tomorrow, by whether we can break back inside the weekly market makers expected move. If we can break back inside that lower edge of the market makers expected move, which is around the 391 area, it sets up for a large bull move for Friday. If we can't, if we continue to consolidate and we don't get that sign where we kind of close up and close to the upside today, it's going to be a serious day tomorrow, because we could get a head fake looking like we want to continue up, but what'll happen is we'll drop back and we'll kind of dip a toe like we did here, and maybe a bit more forcefully into the major channel below us. So how today sets up plays big for tomorrow if we don't actually walk through that scenario today, because that could in fact happen today. And this kind of opens up that wild swing where we get another wild swing, almost like it looks on a Fed day when we hit the next or the lower major channel. I will go ahead and get into the key levels of the day. All right, really quick, we're going to go through the key levels of the day, starting on the support side. Our jack support is going to be the 388 to 387 area. Queen support is going to be 386 to 385 area. This will hold a lot of weight for me today. Getting down here, seeing whether we hold, says whether we get this bounce that I'm looking for, whether we hold this 386, 385 area. And then our king support is 384, 379, at 379 being the major or the lower edge of the major channel that we're in. On the support side, we have jack support at 389 to the 390 area, queen support 391 to the 393 area, which if we do start to bounce, this will be an area to look at or target. And then our king resistance area is going to be 394 all the way up to the 397 area. The main thesis for today was a small bullish bias closing above the 391.49 with a projected target high of between 391 and maybe getting up to the 398, which I see possibly tomorrow if that bounce gets started today. The alternate thesis is bearish, closing below the 391.49 with a projected target low of between 391 and 379. Again, the main channel we are in is from 379 up to 397. The main channel below that goes from 379 down to 364. Now, yesterday, market strength and breadth fell off the map yesterday. This leads me to see strength and breadth do one or two things. Either get pinned low and price does something similar to what it's doing and we continue this fall down with breadth and strength getting pinned low. But since we're already through the open, I can tell you now that price has tried to fight. Strength has tried to fight back and pop up a little. It has peeked this head up off of the mat. So it's another thing giving me reason to why I don't see us really breaking and going into an extreme sell-off today, because price has tried repeatedly, at least off the open, to fight back. And as I'm looking at it right now, it's trying to fight. So that gives us hope for today and tomorrow. I do see slight harmony between the technical side, which was bullish, and the quant side, which also had a small bullish bias. Now, the scenarios for today, let me bring those up. All right. The first scenario and most probable scenario that looks to be playing out right now is the expanded range day structure. We can have an initial push up to a major resistance. As you can see, we had a lot of resistance in this area. Consolidate before chopping back down for a while. and primarily just a lot of choppiness back and forth throughout the day. And one of the things that I'm watching is if we continue to chop back and forth and hold this area and kind of let things equalize, we could get a lower open tomorrow and a power up from that lower open. It's pretty much going to be one of two scenarios where we pretty much tomorrow get a nice power up, or get a nice head fake while we kind of consolidate for a bit lower, and then get that head fake, and then a nice drop and try to, semi-recover. So those would be the two scenarios that I'm looking for tomorrow based on how we play out today. But there's no doubt that the market is weak right now, and that a lot of things that a lot of these reports that the government is putting out, trying to sweep under the rug or push a narrative, it's not holding anymore. So I was looking for a scenario to play out where we get some really deep drops, and I mean way down, where we pierced the lows that we pierced last year at some point, but that I don't see coming until that March, we'll say February, maybe March time frame. So this is probably the beginning of that, but I don't see the steep drops until then, but you never know. That's pretty much how I see things playing out. I'm going to cut this outlook short since I didn't get a chance to do it as a pre-outlook. But one of the things that kind of hits me right now, because I'm a futures trader and the market is just so choppy right now, that if you aren't already in positions, it's so volatile where it is very hard to try to take anything futures wise. Option wise is different. But as I always say, the most important job as a trader is to protect the capital that you already have. And we do this by knowing and understanding the risk that we have on in each position, and we manage that risk in accordance to our account size. As I said yesterday, I am or was short yesterday, and I'm still holding on to a runner or two. I did decide, since things were kind of weak, I did decide to go ahead and put on the start of a position, which was a bullish pull spread, a bullish put spread yesterday, with expiration way out toward the end of February. And on that put spread, I did go in. The strike that I bought was down to the 380 strike. I'm sorry, it's the 387 strike that I bought, and looking for the 390. So I need a lot to go better, because I was thinking that we would have a gap down, but I should have held it. But this is trading, and this is why you never enter into a full position in one move. So that's it for today. Hoping this helps, even though I didn't get it out on time this morning. But this is the outlook that I saw today. Looking for things to kind of chop back and forth over a broad range. So today is going to be a very broad day, up and down, with a lot of choppiness. So be careful, be safe. I hope this helps. And as always, wishing you a positive trading day. Have a great one.